Hi, my name is Emme Jochim, and this is my final presentation on my e-learning system, Figma Basics. Today I will be covering the following pieces of my term project: participant prereqs, learning objectives of the e-learning system, its implementation and follow-up principles, my findings and insights from these, and potential future research. To begin, the main goal of my e-learning system was to teach entry-level designers with little to no experience with Figma the basics behind using this design tool. Before beginning the course, I aimed for all participants to have the following existing knowledge: basic understanding of design principles, some knowledge of what Figma is and what it is used for, and knowledge of what a mobile prototype is. Following this, I outlined 4 key learning objectives as contained in this slide, all of which fell into recall and interpreting within the cognitive processing dimension, and knowledge of classifications and categories, or knowledge of subject-specific techniques and methods within the knowledge dimension. To implement my e-learning system, I chose Rise 360 to create an unmoderated course online. Within this course, I created 7 segmented sections, including an overview of Figma, 3 separate lessons on creating a frame, creating buttons and components, and presenting prototypes in Figma, and a thank you to participants. In addition, I included a pre- and post-test before and after the overview and lesson segments to measure learners' knowledge. Regarding principles, I chose to implement coherence through the use of visual and written direction, excluding audio as a potential distractor, segmenting through separating lessons from one another and including a knowledge check in between each, worked examples through video walkthroughs of each task, and personalization through the use of direct language. To measure the impact of my results, I outlined both a null and alternative hypothesis, null being that there would be no notable positive difference between the pre- and post-test, and alternative being that there would be a notable positive difference. Through collecting 15 participant responses and calculating my p-value and effect size as listed in this slide, I was able to determine that my results were statistically significant and in support of my alternative hypothesis. In addition to this, I noted that the question with the most positive change was number 6, focusing on how to present a prototype completed in Figma. This, however, left me questioning why this was where participants struggled the most, and why there might be blank spaces in this section of their knowledge in Figma. I would be interested to look more in depth on how experience levels with Figma affect this task. Some insights from my findings include that the use of segmenting, knowledge banks, and worked examples have the potential to positively impact learners by reinforcing absorbed knowledge. I also wanted to note that, as mentioned in my previous slide, the lesson that participants experienced the highest improvement in focused on presenting prototypes in Figma. This led me to believe that more research could be completed on this topic alone, and to question why this held the highest level of confusion in the pretest. I think this best showcases the trends within my research. In the future, I would like to increase my sample size past 15 participants to reinforce my gathered data and reconfirm its significance. I would also like the chance to better screen participants for prior knowledge levels, as I was not able to confirm this through the participant pool. Being unsure of who has more or less experience with Figma could have skewed my results, and this is something that I would change if I was redoing this study. This concludes the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to your feedback.